Here I will explain my theory of reality. So this third part of theory of human behavior, I will introduce my views of how our experiences forms our reality. In my view, our experiences in our past makes kind of a marks in our mind, and those marks will form our reality. And here I will introduce this topic a bit, but this is really going to be a big topic, so I will introduce this more in more coming videos. So this is just the first introduction of this issue. But first of all, I will explain how I see that my reality was formed. So I will make an example of myself. And reality, I think it's usually in our countries, in Western countries, we usually see ourselves in the middle. So we have a kind of a individualistic worldview, and I think that worldview is now taking over all the world. So there is not so many of those different worldviews anymore, but there are different kind of worldviews in the different areas also nowadays. But here I will explain how I say that in Western countries we are in the middle usually. So we see everything through our own eyes, meaning that our own perspective is how we see others and how we see the world and everything. And that is usually said that is the way it should be. But I'm going to argue that is not that it should be. Because there is another way. And then I think our reality, like I said, is formed by our experiences. And here I will make this drawing. I'm not really good at drawing, but I think it is easier for me to show this. So I think our reality is formed kind of a different life experience layers, different kind of sections that are influencing in our past, and how they influence our behavior. And I think it's differences in our different people. What sections are more relevant to some people. For example, there is so here I made some of those kind of sections that I think are most relevant in our reality. There is a family that it's a childhood family, the family we grew up. I think that is highly important to our reality. And then there is relationships. Mostly intimate relationship will form our reality, and some also every relationship can form our reality. Also, I will explain that more. Then there is gender. This also can be a big thing to someone. And then there's health and incidents, education, economical or social status, religion, nationality, race, and culture. So those are the kind of sections that I kind of I think that are most relevant to our reality, but there are more. But I will introduce some of those sections so it's easier to understand what I mean. For example, my childhood family, I was grown up in a really nice, loving family, and so I think, and my values come from, most of my values come from my childhood family and the way I was grown up. And I think that can be a big thing in our behavior, how what kind of a childhood family we have. And then there is, in my case, intimate relationship has formed a lot of my reality. For example, in our society it's really common that we think that love is something that we seek love in intimate relationships. So in our society we usually think that you can't experience love if you're not in the intimate relationship. And that is, I think, really big problem in our society, because I have been in many, not so many, but some intimate relationship. But I have been single also quite many years in my life, and I have seen so many people that are so sad about they haven't found a partner, and they think that I think they don't value themselves at all. And in our society, being in an intimate relationship is kind of status also. So I was ashamed that I don't have a partner in my past, and that is really common in our society. And that is just I think that is some mark in our mind that has influenced to how our behavior, because that is not true. You can love is something, I will talk about this more, but to me love is something that you can find in yourself, but it's not so easy. I have been hearing so many times that you should just love yourself, and yes, I know. That's really not really easy, I can tell you. So I will talk about that more, but that's I think one big problem in our society that we believe is misbelief of love. And then there is gender issue. Gender is also, in our society we categorize people so much, and I'm not a fan of categorizing people. I hate it, I have to say. I can't categorize people, even with a gender, no. And I will explain why in more coming videos, but I think that there are other ways that we can improve the how we see others, and like how we can make our society better and equal to everyone. And I think we can do that without categorizing. And to me, gender has been also quite big thing, because I have always tried to be a kind of a real man, and that is not really easy for me, because I'm not like that. I have a strong feminine side in me, and I've tried to hide it, but now I can be what I am. So I think it has changed in our society a bit at the moment, luckily. And then there is health issue. Health is for me, like I said where I explained my past, I have this disability that I have been ashamed of, and that makes a big mark in my reality. So I thought that disability is not something that is normal, so I hide it. And so my reality was that I need to hide something that is not normal in our societies. And the next section is incidents. Incidents are happenings in our past that will make kind of marks in our mind, and it can really change our reality and make a difference in our reality. And in my case, there are a couple of happenings in my past. It's kind of a sudden happenings that were a bit of quite frightening for me. And those happenings influenced to my behavior in a way that I got these panic attacks really often, and it can be in really small things. For example, if I drop a glass in the floor, I would get a panic attack, and after that I would get really angry, and that was my kind of a reality in the past, but now I got rid of that. But I will explain how did I get rid of the panic attacks in more coming videos. But those sudden incidences really can make a change in our reality. And then there is education. In my case, education has never been a big issue, because I have a master's of technology, master's of science in technology, but I have never kind of interested in technology, and so that's why I don't have attachment to my education. But there are a lot of people that have a really strong attachment to their own field of science, and that will transform their reality in a way that they're hard to see the other side, but that's also a big issue. And all of these issues most of these I'm going to talk about more in more coming videos, because this is really the key thing of I think in our behavior. And then there is economical or social studies. I was grown up in a middle class family, and So I have like I introduced my past, I have had a really quite difficult past, but luckily I have a family that has been support me mentally and also financially sometimes, and that has been a really big issue for me and big help. And I can just imagine what my life would have been without my family support. And I think, but I have grown up in a way that in our family that we always were quite not big spenders. So I learned to save money when I was a kid, and I have never been a big spender myself. I've always saved money, and so I think that I have a different kind of a side of money issues than some other people. And but then there is social studies is also in Finland. It's not so big thing. There is we don't have social classes so much, but I think the biggest is if you're unemployed or are you employed, because that makes a really big difference in our reality, because we always usually when we meet other people, we usually first we ask, what do you do for work? And I think that is really not a good thing in our society. And then there is religion. I have been grown up in a not so religious family, and but like I said in my past videos, I was in a church kindergarten or church school and I think that made a bit of a difference in my reality, but I think not so much. So, but I believe in God, but I don't believe in religions, and but I will talk about this more in more coming videos. But I think religion is a big thing, and that can transform someone's reality so much, and they can see only their religion, everything through their own religion. And then there is nationality. That is also can be a big thing, but for me it's not so big thing. I'm more of a global person, so I'm not so attached to my nationality, but I'm proud of my nationality. But I don't see that I should so much being attached to that. But it can be a big thing, and I will also talk about this, why I think some people are so attached to their nationality. And then there is race. It's even further for nationality, race issues, and like nationality and race issues can make a really big difference in someone's reality, and you can see that now the patriotism is getting bigger in many countries, and I think that is one explanation of that is their reality is totally different. And then there is culture. Culture is also can be a big thing in someone's reality, and in Finland there are strong cultures in different part of our nation, but I'm not so attached to culture, but I'm proud of our culture also. But in my view, like there is a different how our reality is formed and how we see our reality. Because I think, like I said in the beginning, usually we see everything in our own perspective. So we are in the experiencer is I think the higher self, but that's in the middle. But I think there's another way of seeing this is when you become an observer, you can kind of see the multiple realities, and you can understand better other people. And the observer is the higher self than the experiencer, and that I explained in the last video. But this is the first introduction of this reality, and I will explain more of this in more coming videos. And so I'm going to do another section where I will talk about human behavior more, and then I'm going to get another section about how to improve your mental health, where I will explain more of my mental health practices, and also your how can you improve your body health, and because it's a big thing. But I'm not at the moment. I'm not yet. I don't have skills to mental teaching, so I'm just giving some introduction of those. But hopefully I will see you in the next videos. So bye. Thanks.